Hi, ladies. Happy Friday. So I have been meaning to come in here live for like a long time, but I keep not doing it. My story, I don't know, the more you get into like personal growth, you realize like a lot of what you're telling yourself are stories, right? So like my story is like my parents haven't been coming to like watch the kids, and that's normally when I would do my live videos, like when they're both entertained. So I'm going to stop that story, and even though I have one of them with me, I'm going to still do my live video. So I wanted to come, happy Friday, hey Sherry, I wanted to come in here and just kind of show you what I've been practicing with, how to intuitively kind of like get a yes or no answer. I say that I'm practicing it because when I am practicing it, I think we're always practicing. I think too, I wanted to just kind of mention, like, when I normally go for yes, no answers, I don't ask a lot of future questions. Sometimes I do, but if I ask future questions, I ask them like for fun. So it's like a for fun question, like just to kind of see. I think future questions are a little tricky, just because I personally don't think the future is fixed. So I think there are lots of possible futures. And the answer yes, no at like this one single moment in time might be totally different. Like if something changes, maybe you're not even aware of it, and then you ask it again tomorrow. So like, for example, a super simple example, this is how little questions sometimes I'll use yes, no for. So I was ordering a Halloween costume. We're all going to be dinosaurs. Henry wanted to be a dinosaur, so we do like everyone's a dinosaur for my parents' family party. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to order. Normally I make them, and I was like, I'm just going to order me and Adam costumes online. And the one for the women's costume came in pink or green. And I was like, I couldn't decide what I wanted. And I just like could not get clarity, and this sounds like something so simple, right? I was like, do I want pink or do I want green? So I went, and I'll show you what I used after I have it all here, so I'll show you everything. But I got like a yes for green, and then I did a little while later, and I just wasn't feeling like, I wasn't trusting it, right? And then I got a yes for pink. Hey, Courtney. And I was like, getting like a little frustrated, like, why am I getting like yeses for both colors? Like, which one is like of my highest and best? Like, I know it's just a costume, but whatever. Which one will I be most happy with, I think is what I was asking. And then what ended up happening, we got the costumes, we tried them on, and they were so hot that I was like, there's no way I'm going to wear this in my parents' house. Like, maybe if I was trick-or-treating, like if I was going to wear it, which I'm not, I personally don't dress up normally for trick-or-treating, but whatever. If I were to wear it outside, great costume. For inside, not so great. So I ended up making our costumes. So I would then, after the fact, I was like, oh, maybe I was getting yes for green and yes for pink because it didn't matter. So sometimes I also think, I think the future changes so often, but also sometimes it just doesn't matter. And it could go either way. Sometimes I even wonder, like, this is how out there you can get with this. I even wonder, like, so say there's so much more going on than we even realize, and I get an answer yes for something or no. Maybe that's not going to be true, but maybe that's what I need in that moment to make certain decisions to positively affect my future. So like, who knows? Maybe it's telling me the answer I need to see, and maybe not even the right answer. I don't know. So that's why when I do future yes, no, or future anything, if people ask me future like outcomes for even like the cards, I try to treat it, and I try to have them treat it as like a fun, like, oh, this is just for fun, because it could totally change. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to say about that. So there's a few different ways I've been practicing. I don't know if you've seen, this is called a pendulum. When I was a kid, I don't know, let me know if you did this. I forget, someone, maybe it's my parents' friend, told me you can like do this with anything. You can put like, I think people, have you ever done like the pregnancy thing? Like it's like this, and you can see if you're gonna have boys or girls. But you can do it, some people use like a piece of their hair and a ring. You can use anything that makes it like swing. I bought this one because it's quartz crystal, and I liked it. I'm also someone who like, is afraid of all like dark things. So like this looked like happy to me. Some of them look like a little more intense, which is just not something I'm drawn to. Like if it looks like too Halloween-y or too like goth, and there's nothing wrong with that, that's just not what I'm drawn to. So I'm drawn to more like light looking things, like pink, like you probably can't see that. It's like pink, pretty stone. Anyway, so this is a pendulum. I used to be afraid of these because like I said, I'm still slightly afraid of the dark. We're working on that. So what I like to think of this as is, let me backtrack. So Ouija boards. I did a Ouija board once when I was like 12 or something at my friend's house, and it freaked me out forever. Because it was like actually working, and that freaked me out. So anyway, so just FYI, when I use things like this, me personally, you can call on whatever you want. I like to say like my highest self, my soul. What I believe is it's my like higher self that's answering me. I don't believe so much there's like a spirit or like, but you could believe whatever you want. So I personally, when I use this, I call on my highest self. I call on my soul. What is of highest and best for me? What does my soul want me to know? That's just me. You can call on the universe. You can call on God. You can call on love. Whatever resonates for you. So like, just because I do it one way, whatever feels right for you, you can do it that way. But what I literally do is now I know what's yes and what's no and what's maybe. But I would like when you first say you like get a string and put your ring on it or something, you would want to say like, okay, I call in love and light or only of highest and best. And I would say like, can you show me a yes? And it will move. And some people will be like, oh, it's just Blippi balls. He's watching TV right now. Doesn't usually get to watch. So, yep, I put it back on. Yeah, I put it back on. 1 second. 1 second. There we go. Okay. So, people will be like, oh, your arm moved. And other people say, yeah, my arm moved because it's like your higher self flowing through you, basically. So for me, yes is like going like this way for me, which is going to look opposite the way I'm pointing for you. And no, it swings this way. And maybe is super interesting. Someone asked a question, I forget who it was, that I got maybe on the thread. I had never seen it do it. It like normally, if it doesn't want to answer me, it just like stays still. But someone got like a real maybe, and it was like back and forth straight in the middle, which was interesting. But it's all you figuring out what works for you. What do you want to ask? Who are you kind of calling upon? And it, like I said, it can be your soul, your highest self. And then kind of just like figuring out, okay, what does a yes look like? What does a no? For some people, I think a yes can be like a right circle and a no is a left circle. But it will be obvious. And the more you like work with it, the more obvious it is. But that's one way, which is like for me fun to practice with. Like I'll even do like so right now Adam's stomach has like a little stomach bug thing, I think. So like I'm gonna say like should I go to Tingsboro tonight? Whatever, should I bring me and the kids to Tingsboro tonight? It's showing yes, which of course it showed no earlier. So that's the other thing, you can't always trust it. So maybe I should go to Tingsboro tonight. The other thing I really realized, so I feel like I'm so scattered. I didn't really think about what I was going to say before I jumped on here. Right? It is so pretty. So the other thing I noticed is I can sort of make it go yes or no. So like if I'm thinking yes, it like moves yes. And if I'm thinking no, it moves no, which is super weird. And that just started happening, to be honest. So I think that's me. I like to think of this as training wheels. This is training me how to intuitively know yes or no. So when I feel like I'm getting the answer before this tells me the answer, I think that's super awesome. And that's what I trust more. So like if your gut keeps telling you, like if you're asking it, like for me, I need to know, should I go to my parents' house tonight? Whatever, whole thing tomorrow, or if I don't go to my parents' house tonight and Adam doesn't feel well, it messes all day tomorrow up. So should I go to my parents' house tomorrow? If I intuitively keep thinking, like my gut's like, yes, go, and this tells me no, I still think that's a test that I know best, right? So you always know more than whatever you're using. This, I like to think of it as like fun more. Okay. So that's one fun way. The other fun way, I'm going to show you standing up. Someone told me they use this, you can use this also, I guess, for like allergy testing and stuff people will do. Have you ever been somewhere where they do like muscle testing on your arm? I've never actually gone, but I know people that have, and they'll do like muscle testing with certain foods to find like what allergies you might have or things like that. But there's another way to do it. My friend that, she works with oils, like so she sells essential oils, and she uses it to tell what oils to use for people. And so basically you like stand and you would say, should I go to Tingsboro tonight, right? And then so I would be like, okay, I don't know what I normally do with my hands, but say I'm like this, like, should I go to Tingsboro tonight? And you get like centered, so you like take a breath and you stand, and if you can really get clear, you will either fall forwards or backwards. It's like creepy, weird, but in a fun way. So like I'll literally stand and I'll be like, okay, is it of my highest and best to go to Tingsboro tonight? And right now I'm like too much like thinking with you to like really get clear, but if I like go forward, that for me that's a yes, and backwards is a no. It's super interesting, like, so that's something I like to have fun with too, just to kind of see like, does it make sense to, it could be something as silly as like, it makes sense to, like I'm diffusing right now, to use lavender oil right now. Like what makes most sense for me? Lavender oil, or you can only do one thing at a time. So, but forwards is front and backwards is, yes. Yes, exactly, Sherry. So you know exactly, you probably like, did they do the arm thing? I'm guessing, I know my mom had that done somewhere. But it's like, you can do that, the falling forwards and back, which is really neat. And what I love most about all these methods is if you can really get clear, a lot of times, like either in your head, you'll have the thought, or kind of like, I feel it more, like in my gut, like I can feel like a yes or a no, not always, but, I know if I'm thinking like, oh, I should fall forward, I'm not going to make myself fall forward, but like if I'm thinking it's going to go forward, like that probably means yes. I don't have to actually fall forward to tell. So, but that's a fun way to do yes or no. The other fun way, so these are tarot cards. However, you could do this with a normal deck of cards, right? Because a normal deck of cards has 4 aces. This also has 4 aces. So I just saw this the other day and I thought it was like the coolest thing. So for me, this is fun, right? I would not, like I said, I think it works best when you're just having fun with it and you're not like, you are still in charge, right? This is just like for fun, like seeing if it agrees with what you agree with kind of thing. So what you do is, so I'm going to do the same question. Should I go to is it of like my highest and best to go to Tingsboro tonight? It's my parents' house. Okay, so what I would do, I shuffle my cards however you want. There's no right or wrong way to shuffle. And then stop whenever you want to. I used to have so much trouble with this when I was pulling cards. I would be like, I don't know when to stop. Like, when do I stop? And I was like, I just couldn't figure out when to intuitively stop. Because people are like, you'll know. And I was like, no, I don't know. Like, when do I stop? Which card do I pull? I just decided I just decided that everything else knows more than me. And whenever I stop will be perfect. So like, it doesn't matter if I shuffle one way or another way. It doesn't matter. No matter what, it's going to be perfect. So what you do, shuffle however you want. Now you're going to make 4 piles of 13. This is the kind of stuff if I was like a kid and had like unlimited time, I would do this all the time. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Don't mind Owen, he's playing with a car. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so I made 4 piles of 13. And what I must show you, there's still this much left. I forget how much is in an actual deck. Yes, this works in an extra deck, right? Okay, so for my deck, I have this much left. So the way this works is, so hey Gwen, it's like, oh, hi Christina. It's like, I thought I saw someone else pop up. So I have 4 piles of 13, and supposedly, I've only tried this like twice. I saw this literally 2 days ago. If you get, so I'm just gonna flip all these over. If I get an ace in every single pile, that means like definitely yes. If I get an ace in like 3 of the piles, that means probably yes. 2 of the piles means maybe. If I got an ace in 1 of the piles, it means probably not. And if I get no aces, which I feel like would be pretty hard to do, but it would be definitely not. Look, first card's an ace. So let's see, we have 1 ace in this pile. Oh, and I think you stop once you get an ace. Yeah, so stop. If there's 1 ace, you just stop. Next one. So I'm just looking for aces, which makes it super easy. So no. So it's not a definitely yes, which I personally feel back and forth between if I should go to Tingsboro or not. Of course, it doesn't help me at all. So I got 2 aces. And like I said, you could do this, right? 13 times 4. There's that many cards in a normal deck, I think. So I got 2 aces, which means maybe, which is exactly how I feel right now. I feel like for going to Tingsboro, it could go either way, depending how sick or not sick Adam's feeling. So that I thought was like a super fun way to like practice yes or no. But I think the biggest thing it comes down to is trusting yourself. So like for me, I know yes or no if I ask someone else yes or no, say I asked someone else a yes or no question, right? And they were intuitively telling me yes or no. And they said no, and in my mind I'm screaming like, you're wrong. Maybe not my mind. Maybe it's more like, because sometimes in your mind, like you want to argue it because you don't want it to be right. I guess that's another thing, is figuring out, is it your mind or is it like your body? But like if you just know when they say it that it's the opposite, trust you over them. So even if I tell you yes or no and you don't believe it, that's totally fine. You know you best is what everyone always says, right? So those are just some fun ways that I've been practicing. And then I guess the last one is I've been practicing like sitting in like a meditation, asking the question and seeing if I'm getting a yes or no. The really confusing thing with me right now, I'll share, is that, so when I stand, right, forward is yes, backwards is no. I think that's just how that always works for everyone. When I am sitting, I'm getting a yes for backwards. So it's like super confusing. So we'll see if that changes. Because yeah, I don't like that it's the opposite of when I'm standing. But yeah, so I hope you all have a great day. Hope that was kind of fun. Maybe you can find something to practice with. And like I said, if you want to try the pendulum thing, like tie like just a ring to a piece of string and just see like, I asked my highest self or my soul, show me yes, show me no, show me maybe, or like, and you can ask like the most ridiculous things, like just to see like, does my highest self want ice cream right now? Is it best if I have baked green beans? Yeah. So anyway, I hope you all have a great day. If you have questions about any of that stuff that I talked about, definitely ask me. Like I said, I feel like I am no expert, but I am having fun with it. And I will do another video soon of, I'm looking at my books, that's why I'm looking over there, like the human design, the gene keys, kind of stuff, just to see if that's something you're into. I would love more people to talk about it with. And yeah, it's super fun because you kind of dig into like who you are and how you're meant to kind of go about the world to make a smoother life journey, basically. So yeah, happy Friday, and I will see you soon. Bye.